Have you ever had that feeling where you get a glimpse of your potential, of who you can be, of what you can achieve? You feel like you're special, that you're different, and that you're meant to live an extraordinary life. If you know what I'm talking about, I have one thing to tell you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because you're going to suffer. When you know that you have that potential, when you have felt it, you can't unknow it. You cannot unfeel that. You know that it's there. So you're going to suffer. There is no going back because you're either going to suffer by making sacrifices to reach that potential, or you're going to suffer if you do nothing, but you will always know in the back of your mind that you could do better. And that will eat you alive. So in both situations, you're going to experience pain. Either you're going to experience the pain of self-discipline or the pain of regret. And the choice is yours to make. Think about this. Why were you given that insight? Why were you shown that potential, even if it was only one time? It's because it was a gift given to you. You are lucky to have seen that because that gives you hope. That gives you belief. That gives you an insight that is special, that you can now see yourself at a higher version of yourself. Not everyone gets to experience that. And you're lucky because now you believe that you can do better. And when you believe that you can get there, that's all you need to get started. When you believe there is hope and possibility. And I want you to lean into it because you saw the power that you hold to live a fully meaningful and fulfilling life. And it's up to you to actualize it. It is your responsibility. It is your human right to become the highest version of yourself. Here's the thing. You might feel stuck and lost right now and not know what to do or how you're going to reach that potential. But just so you know, doing nothing or trying to think your way through it, or even worse, waiting, sitting back, thinking that things will just figure itself out on its own, is the worst thing that you can do. I was on a date the other day with a guy, and he was saying how he's been feeling a little lost, a little passionless. He doesn't really like his job, but he has a lot of other ideas. So I was waiting for him to tell me what he's going to do to figure out what he's going to do. But he actually said, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't really worry because it's all going to work out. This is what keeps us average. That mindset keeps us mediocre. We can only afford to say this because we are privileged. For most of us, if we just sit back, it's going to be fine. We have an okay job. We have a roof over our head. Maybe you're even in a relationship. So it looks like things are good enough. And if you don't do anything and you live in a first world country, things are going to be okay. It's going to be fine. You're going to have a decent life because that's the type of life that the average person has. So yes, technically you're right. If you don't do anything, things will work out. Technically. But is that the fulfilling and meaningful life that you actually want? If you want to be extraordinary, if you want to have a different life than the average person, it requires you to do work. You can't just sit back and expect your life to look different than the average person. You need to do things differently. You need to step out of your comfort zone to reach that potential. And most people are mediocre because they are not willing to put in the work. So ask yourself, are you willing to put in the work for the next decade? I say decade for a reason because if you want to be in the top 1%, that needs to be earned. It cannot happen overnight. Anyone can do the hard work for a day. Anyone can do the hard work for a week, for a month. But what about a decade? If you're 25 years old right now, you are trying to reverse 25 years of behaviors, of habits, of decisions. It's not going to take 1 year to reach your potential. Even 10 years is not even half your life. Maybe in a year you can see progress and it's going to feel rewarding. But if you want to reach your potential, you have to think big. And if you want a really different type of life, you need time. You need consistent effort over time. And it's going to take work, and you cannot expect that to happen in the next year. For massive amount of success, for massive amount of impact, for massive amount of influence, You have to think long term. So if you don't know me, I'm a professional athlete. My name is Bianca St. George, and I'm a professional soccer player. I play in the top league in the world with the best players in the world, and I'm basically top of the 1% in my career. To get where I'm at today, I had to put in 20 years of effort. But technically, I started getting serious about soccer when I was 13 years old. When I was 13, I decided to leave my home, leave my friends, leave my family, leave my school to go in a completely new city in a host family, going to a school that was self-learning so I could attend this soccer academy that was extremely rigid but was the best for my soccer development. I had to make that sacrifice when I was 13 years old because I knew that that was the best chance for me to become the best soccer player possible. It wasn't until 10 years later, almost, I was 24 years old, when I got my first national team camp invite for the Canadian women's national team to prepare for the 2021 Olympics. That was over a decade to actually achieve the highest level I could ever achieve in my sport. That was 10 years later. Do you realize that it did not happen by luck? It happened by consistent work over time. And yes, I got rewarded with milestones along the way. It wasn't like it was miserable along the way, but to achieve the ultimate reward, it's going to take time. This is just something I'm trying to drill into you because we are so eager to have everything happen to us immediately, yet we don't give the natural process of input and output. You have to respect how life works. You have to humble yourself and realize that you are not entitled to get things right away. You and me are just the same person. We are average. We're not genius people. We are not naturally gifted at something. We need to put in the reps. Do you want to know why most people don't get the results? Why most people are average? It's simple. They just quit before they see progress. They don't stick to it long enough before they start seeing the first reward, before they start seeing that they're on the right path. And I get it. The lack of immediate reward can be so stressful, so frustrating, so boring. When you put in so much effort and work and do not get rewarded for that, it just feels hard for nothing. But it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to feel challenging. And you know what? Expecting it to be easy makes it even harder than it needs to be. We're programmed to quit when things are hard because evolutionary, think about it. When things got hard, we were told to stop doing it because we needed to save our energy for if a neighboring tribe was coming to attack us or like a tiger coming to attack us. We needed to have the energy to run away because we were definitely not overfeeding and putting a lot of energy into our bodies. Our brain is programmed to quit when it's hard because it just doesn't feel right. But that's your lizard brain. We are fully conscious being today. We have so many opportunities to self-actualize. Do you realize how lucky we are to be alive in this day and age? You can literally make your career for anything. Whatever you are gifted or unique about, you can literally make a difference in the world. Just please stop listening to your lizard brain. When it feels hard, know that you're on the right path. And for me, things still feel hard when I work. Every day, trying to reach my potential, trying to grow my channel, trying to be the best version of me, being on self-improvement, it feels hard. But it feels good to feel hard. It doesn't feel like a negative thing because it literally has become part of my identity. I have accepted that it's part of my journey, that it's necessary for me to get to where I want to go. When things are hard, it means that things are working. And it's so good that it feels hard because when you do achieve a milestone, a goal, a reward, it feels so good because you have seen yourself put in the work. And you have also seen yourself become a more resilient, a wiser, a more experienced version of yourself. That's how you become proud of yourself because you overcome challenges. You do the hard work. You don't listen to your lizard brain. And you know what else feels really good when it feels hard? At that exact moment, you know you're beating the competition. Because a lot of people want to be in the top 1%, but most people are not willing to put in the work. So just tell yourself that if you do the work when it feels hard, you are literally beating everyone else, because most people will quit. You have seen yourself quit in the past. I have seen myself quit in the past as well, trying to build my YouTube channel and not being consistent. That's how I never grew before, because I was quitting. When things get monotone or challenging or boring or not as exciting, you usually switch goals. Or you might think you're not quitting, but you switching goals is a form of quitting. It's you losing progress, is you getting off track. Embrace when things are challenging, because that's how you will beat the competition. And you know what? The only competition you have is the one with yourself. It's the battle that you have every single day against your thoughts, against that lazy part of you that just wants to stay comfortable in your comfort zone. That's the battle you actually have to win. So don't worry about what other people are doing and what success they look like they're having. I promise you, they will eliminate themselves on their own, because most people quit. And people love to glamorize the outcome. People will always envy your success, but they will never envy how you got there. So that just tells you that you just need to put in the work. So if you want your life to look different than most people, you must be willing to do what most people won't. So I want you to think of your long-term vision, even though it's a little unclear, but just tap into the fact that you want to have an impact, or maybe think about the money that you want to make, or the success that you want to get, or the fulfillment you want to feel. Ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice to live an extraordinary life? It's not necessarily about what you do, it's choosing the things that you won't do. What are you willing to not do? Are you willing to sacrifice partying, weekends, late nights, early mornings? What are you willing to sacrifice? Because that's what's going to take for you to get to where you want to go, because that is the sacrifice, that is the pain that you need to experience to be self-disciplined. If you keep doing this, ups and downs, because you're kind of trying and you're doing a little bit every single day, and then suddenly you get distracted, and then you make excuses, and then you go back to your comfort zone and stay there. If you keep doing that, we just know the outcome. You will be average. And you know what? If that's what you want, that is so fine. That is so okay. If that is truly what you desire, go for it. You don't even need to listen to my video. But don't lie to yourself. If you try to convince yourself that you want to be average when you know deep down that you want to reach your potential, you will have regrets. This is the life that you're supposed to live. You're not meant to stay average. For me, I know I will be fine if I stop doing YouTube, if I stop pushing myself every day, if I stop really putting my whole energy into my self-improvement and self-development. I know I'll be fine because I have money, I have a good career, I have good connections, I'm healthy, I can find a partner, I know I'll be okay. But I don't want an okay life. I want something that's different. I want something that will challenge me, that will really push my limits. I don't even know the potential that I have, because whatever I think I have, I probably can do even more, but I can't even comprehend it because I haven't even reached the next level yet. I just need to get better every single day, and I will get to where I want to go. And that's what makes my life worth living. I see myself put in the work, and I know deep down that I'm making progress. Even though I might not see it, I believe it because I see myself put in the work. So I know it's inevitable that I will succeed. This is the mindset that I want you to have. And I want you to accept that this will be a grind to go where you want to go, and you need to go all in. And just remember, not because you're not seeing any significant progress means that you're not making any at all. Look at the compound effect. If you look at the compound effect, it takes time before you see the fruition of your effort. But ultimately, it will start making so much progress in an exponential way. So usually people quit because they are staying at the bottom and they feel like it's not working, but they're so close to a breaking point where things are just going to take off until you have your next skills and your next level up, and it's just going to keep getting higher and higher. I saw that with YouTube. So when I first started YouTube, I could have easily said it wasn't working. When first of all, I was delusional because I posted my first video and it had 100 views or something. And even though I felt like it wasn't working after my first few videos getting 150 views, I was still getting 150 views. So something was working because I was still getting some feedback. But anyways, you convince yourself otherwise, maybe you're entitled or whatever. And also, it took a huge hit to my ego because I'm a professional athlete. So I felt like when I started a YouTube channel, people would be interested in me. But no one knew who I was in the YouTube world. So no one really gave a crap about what I posted there. So it really took a huge hit to my ego. And I wanted to find all the excuses why it just was unfair and just not working for me. But I still stuck to it. And then eventually I started getting 300 views, 500 views. And at that point I was like, it's not working for me. But I'm still getting more views. Yet I was delusional. My lizard brain was trying to make me quit because it knew it was going to be hard. I was seeing firsthand that I was putting a lot of effort, yet it was slow to see rewards. But I was also consuming content and looking up to people that were giving advice on how to grow a YouTube channel. And they said that all you need is consistency and just try to do better every single video. And you will succeed. You will see the results. And that's what I did. I listened to the advice. And look at me, a year and a half later, I'm at 18,000 subscribers. All of that because I put in the work and I just trusted the process. And right now, you're doing the same thing. You're listening to me. You're listening to my advice, basically. And I just want you to really take that in and realize that you're going to have to stay consistent in your work to see results. You're not different in the way that if you put work in, you're not going to get rewarded. If you put in the work, the world has a funny way to reward you. The universe, God, whatever, higher power will have no choice to manifest what you want. When I say the word work, what do you think I'm talking about? Don't lie to yourself. You also know what I'm talking about. It's the meditation. It's the journaling. It's the workouts. It's the therapy. No social media, your side hustle, your content creation. It's all those things that are a little bit uncomfortable, but that you know would be beneficial to your life. You know what you need to do. And you've listened to tons of self-improvement videos. Mine is one of them right now. If you're listening to my video, I know you've listened to tons of other self-improvement videos. I've been there. But you're only going to see progress if you actually start putting in the work. If you actually apply what you learn. It doesn't matter if you read 100 self-improvement books if you don't try any of the things that they tell you to do. So you know what you should start doing and stop doing. But the problem is you're not doing it. Or at least, why can't you stay disciplined doing it? The reason why you might struggle being consistent or staying disciplined is so obvious. It's because you don't really know why you're doing it. And to know why you're doing something, you need to know what you want. For example, I am exercising 4 times a week because I want to be healthy or I want to have a dream body. I am working on my side hustle every single day after work because I want to make extra money, because I want to travel. Or I'm going to therapy because I want to have better relationships with myself, my God, and my partner. When you want to do something, it's easier to do it. It's not necessarily wanting to do the thing itself, the means to get there. It's wanting the end result. The reason why I'm doing my YouTube video is not because I actually love YouTube. It is so much work. Like, I could be doing so many other things right now than filming a YouTube video and preparing for it. I don't think you guys realize how much time I put into this, but I put so much energy into this. I don't want to do this, but you know what I want? I want the result. I want the connections it's going to bring me, the growth it's going to bring me, the people I'm going to meet, the money I could be making, the skills I'm going to develop. I want all of these things. And this is just a means to get there. If you know the end goal that you want, it's so much easier to put in the work and the daily tasks to get there because it is something that you want. How do you expect yourself to get out of your comfort zone every single day if you don't want the ultimate goal? It's literally impossible for you to get out of your comfort zone where you are comfortable to do something that's not even going to get you something that you want. That makes no sense. So you have to make sure that whatever you're doing is getting you closer to what you desire. I really think that's the only reason why you're not committing to your work. I want you to pause right now and think about this. If you want to reach your potential, you need to put in the hard work consistently and over time. And if you want to stay disciplined, you need to make sure that you're thriving for something that you want. So think about what you want and get to work now. This should be the end of the video for you. If you know what you want, you should literally just leave and start taking action towards getting your highest potential. But if you're one person that feels stuck because you don't really know what you want, like you know you have potential, but you don't really know what that potential is or what it looks like or how to get there, it's really hard. You don't really know what it is that you want. Stick to this video because I know exactly what you desire. I know because that's where I was. What you want is to figure out what you want. That is a desire in itself. You need to use that to fuel you to take action. So for me, I kind of know what I want. I kind of know what my potential looks like. Like I know I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't know what type of business I'm going to have. And that is something I need to figure out. So me wanting to figure that out is a desire in itself. That's why I'm doing YouTube. That's why I'm trying to build my skills and get better and read about business and learn about communication and how to have better relationships. I do this because I want to figure out what I want to do in my business. So if you don't know what you want, this is perfect. This is where most people start. Knowing what you want is a gift. It's something that you cultivate. It's something that you get as a reward for putting in work. It's a privilege to know what you want. So you need to earn that. And that means that you need to put in the work. And I'm going to give you exactly what you need to do to figure out what you want. So I'm going to give you 10 things that you need to think about or do. I suggest that you grab a pen and paper and maybe answer the questions as we go, maybe pause the video, because why would you not do that? Okay, this is you trying to take your potential seriously now. This is you trying to actually change your life. This is the work that I'm talking about. It's not just listening to my video and saying, I'm going to do it later, I'm going to save it later. It's you taking it seriously right now and putting the work. So I'm giving you this opportunity for you right now to get closer to your potential. So I want you to answer these questions. Number 1, what excites you? If something excites you, which probably there is at least one thing that is unique to you. And just so you know, if you are in an area, if you decide to commit to a certain area of your life that excites you, you will already be closer to beating your competition because you will always win over someone that is working towards something that doesn't excite them. If I am trying to be a coder right now and that doesn't excite me, it kind of actually does. But let's say it doesn't excite me and I'm trying to compete and be in the top 1% with someone next to me that is a coder that loves it and is passionate about it, I'm never going to outbeat them or outwork them or outsmart them. They're always going to be a step ahead. So think about what excites you. That could give you an insight into what you want. The second question I want you to think about is what makes you jealous? And I used to get way more jealous when I was younger because I had a very much fixed mindset. I had a notion that, you know, to be rich, you had to be born rich or you had to have the right people around you. Like I just had a more narrow-minded mindset. So I don't really get as much jealous nowadays because I feel like if I want something, I can just go out and get it. But when you feel the feelings of jealousy, that usually tells you that you might want something. And for example, something that I want, I love cars. I love a nice car, and there's a like dream car that I would really like to have. And if I see someone drive that car, it literally fuels me to keep doing in the work because I want that. So I know it's really materialistic, but you know, you got to do what you got to do to keep you fueled up and keep putting in the work. And I know that I could put down a down payment right now and get that car right now, but it's not smart. It's not smart long term. I don't want to be spending money on a car payment when I can be spending it on an editor or growing a team. So I'm trying to be smart with my money right now, but I want you to think about what things make you jealous, and that can give you an insight into what you want. The next question I want you to answer is, what don't you like? Because sometimes it's harder to know what you like. So you have to think about what you don't like. A good example, literally in my life, is I don't really know the type of person I want to date. I have an idea, I have some things that I know I like, but I definitely know what I don't like. And you usually know that from past experiences. Like I know from my past relationships, things that I did not like and I'm not looking for in my new relationship. But it could be literally any area of your life, experience that you've had. Maybe you don't like one-on-one conversations. Maybe you don't like public speaking. Maybe you don't like being behind a computer. Try to journal down things that you don't like, because that will narrow down your options. Now, the next thing I want you to think about is ask yourself, what do you think about in the shower? What do you think about when you're running errands, when you're doing chores, when you're driving your car? Because that's kind of like small insights into what your subconscious is telling you. I know for a fact that I get my best ideas in the shower. I have to have my phone in the shower with me. Maybe that's why it's still messed up. But because I spend half of my shower literally doing voice notes, because I get all my ideas in the shower. It's because your mind is finally resting and you're working so hard all the time trying to figure something out. And it's when your mind is at rest that things kind of come in together. I think that's how the light bulb was created. It was discovered in his sleep. I think Thomas Edison was taking a nap when the idea came to him. It's because his mind was restless, but it's not because he wasn't working hard trying to figure that out. He's putting in so much concerted effort trying to figure that out, but it kind of conceptualizes itself when he is at rest. So try to be mindful. What are things that you think about or obsess over when you're not trying, like when it's literally natural? The next thing I want you to think about is what or who inspires you. I have a lot of people that inspires me online. And I love looking up to them. I listen to their advice. And sometimes it has nothing to do with their career, but it's their charisma, it's their skills, it's like the principles they live by. And when you see someone that inspires you, it can give you ideas into how you want to live your life. Whoever inspires you, you can be just as inspiring and beyond. You can learn from them. You can have mentors. I am a mentor to some of you right now. I know that. And I love that. But you can be the same thing for the next person. That's kind of like the movement I'm trying to create. I'm trying to lead my life so I can lead others. I'm like a leader by example. And then when you look up to me, you also get better, and you also start taking ownership of your life and lead your life and lead your movement and have an impact on your people. And then people look up to you. And then it's basically a chain of event that happens, like a domino effect, where we literally all together make the world a better place, because we all take ownership of our life to try to get better and make our neighbors better. I am so fully connected to that. You have no idea. This is what drives me every single day. I think ultimately our purpose, I'm going on a tangent here, but our purpose is to serve others. And that gives us so much meaning. So if you have a moment to think about how you can help serve others, this is something that can be really impactful on something that you want. And it kind of ties into my other point, which is, what do you want to be known for? And usually what you want to be known for is related to something unique to you, to your story. And you don't have to know the specific role or career you want to be known for. It could be for certain characteristics that you have, or values that you live by, or you know, the movement that you create. So I hope that you're really taking these questions as food for thought, because those can really be helpful in figuring out what you want. Now, the other ones that I have, the last 4, are things that you can do. So the next thing on the list is to do a dopamine detox. Because think about dopamine. Dopamine gives you instant pleasure. And anything that gives you instant pleasure is counterproductive to what you're trying to achieve right now, which is delaying gratification. We want pleasure in the long term. We want massive, fulfilling, meaningful pleasure in the long term. So whatever you do right now that gives you instant pleasure is ruining and fogging your brain and keeping you off track towards that long-term vision of yourself. The instant dopamine is so easy. It's the smoking weed, it's the partying, it's the coming home and napping just because, not because you need a nap, but just because you're being lazy, honestly. Sometimes naps aren't necessary, but sometimes naps are literally just because some people are trying to be lazy and just don't know what to do. They're just on their phone and fall asleep. Like, no, okay. A really obvious one is your phone. Your phone always gives you instant dopamine. You need to sacrifice that. And that will go into my next point. Something that you should stop doing is consuming social media, consuming the news, consuming reality TV. Because you know what? All of this media is made to craft their desires onto you. They're trying to imprint on you what they want you to want. They don't really care about what you want. They are trying to make you buy their ideas, their things. When you consume TikTok, I mean, all the time you see, what is it called? TikTok shop, where people are trying to make you consume so easily things. You don't actually want that. If you remove yourself from it, you can get a better idea of what is really meaningful to you. Don't be the result or the product of marketing tactics. Reality TV is doing the same thing to you. Like, I don't understand how people that have potential, that want to reach their potential, they spend more time making other people their dream come true instead of focusing on their own. When you're on social media and you're literally consuming influencers and trying to participate in their life, you're making their dream come true while you're neglecting yours. You should only consume content from people that actually inspire you, that truly feel like they are aligned authentically with who you want to become. So don't participate in any of that or any of the gossip that's out there. The next thing I want you to do is to look at a core values list. I have one on my school community, and it has a bunch of values, and I want you to look at every single word there with the definition and figure out which top 3 values are going to guide your life right now. What feels authentic to you? When you live by your values, you not only have direction in your life, but you kind of get more connected to your truest self. And when you get used to being connected with your truest self, it gives you signs, it gives you clarity on what you desire, because you are operating on that authentic level. I know I'm speaking a little bit woo-woo right now, but I hope you follow. When you live authentically, you can actually access the part of you that is connected to your truest, deepest desire. That's where your potential lies. The reason why I know that I feel so aligned with YouTube is because I don't participate in normal social media consumption. I tap into what I truly think matters. One of my biggest values is growth. So everything I do has to align with that value, because that's what's important to me. And when I live that way, I get given so many opportunities to grow. And that is what I want, because it's aligned with my values. And then finally, the last thing that I want you to do is to list out everything that you're curious about. Literally everything. And when you go through that list, I want you to pick one thing that speaks to you the most and just commit to developing that. You won't make a wrong answer. If you're curious about something, that is amazing, because when you're curious, you grow, you learn, you become a better critical thinker, you're a better problem solver, because you're simply curious. You don't attach to the outcome. You just want to know. And when you start delving into that, you cannot go wrong. Because let's say you commit to social media and you decide to go on a specific platform. Any platform is a good platform, as long as you commit to it, as long as you're being authentic on it. And your intention is all that matters. Let's say you commit to another job. Let's say you commit to become a personal trainer for a little bit, which is something that I've done. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you have the proper intention behind it. If your intention is to grow and to get to know yourself better and to get to be better at speaking with people, whatever your intention you're putting behind it, if you're being mindful about it, you are going to make it worth it. You are going to grow. You're going to level up. the means is not really important. As long as you know the end goal is to figure out what you want, as long as you still do things to figure out what you want, you will figure out what you want. It's going to work out. But again, you need to put in the work. So I hope that these 10 things that you're actually going to do, because if not, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you've listened into the end. And also, I forget, I wanted to say, if you watch into the end, put a gorilla emoji in the comments, because that tells me who watched until the end. I wish I said it sooner, but yeah, it is what it is. If you put the gorilla emoji, that's really because you listen into the end, because this is the end of the video. And if you are trying to commit to something, you can still join my challenge. I'm doing a self-improvement challenge where we commit to one goal for 8 weeks. It started in September, but you can join in the first link in my description, where you access the free community, and you're just going to be surrounded by like-minded individuals that picked a goal that they're committing to. Again, the goal doesn't really matter. It's something that you're curious about, something that you want to try out, but regardless, you're going to grow and learn so much in the end. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out what you want. You're trying to figure yourself out. And you're going to do that if you just commit and put in the work, put in the reps, and stay consistent. You just got to trust that. So yeah, thank you for watching until the end. I love you so much. You're really helping me by doing that. So I really am grateful for you. I am grateful. I can't believe you listened to the end. So I love you so much. I will see you very soon in a new video. And don't forget to sign up to my newsletter if you want to know more personal stories about me, if you vibe with me. Okay. I share private stuff there. So that's the second link in my description. On this note, I'll see you very soon in a new video. Okay. Mwah.